Alright guys, today we're going to do a Marvel Rivals tier list. And to start, we're going to get with the DPS characters. So first, we got Black Panther. And Black Panther, he used to be good. Dive used to be a pretty good meta. But as of late, Dive has just been dying. Guang Guang keeps buffing supports, and he's not doing anything with the dive characters. And Black Panther is really just like a one trick. In certain comps, he can go pretty crazy, but if he starts doing that, if the other team is competent, they'll just switch to they'll switch to Thing or Emma or any anti-dive like Namor or something like that. So I'm gonna have to throw him in D. He's just really not like meta anymore, and he's very like niche. Like he's only good in very niche comps, And supports are just way too versatile now. Next, we get to the worst DPS in the game. That's Black Widow. She, well, first of all, her headshot should insta kill like a 250 health character, same as Hawkeye does. I think he headshots 275 characters, but yeah, she's just widely regarded as the worst DPS in the game. You'll never really see her in comp. You can sometimes see her in quick play, but usually that's just people just trying her out for fun. But she's really just not a good character. Her ult's pretty bad, and I don't know, she has to reload every time she shoots her sniper, and it's just bad. So yeah. Alright, well, that's a strategist, so then we'll move on to Hawkeye. Hawkeye, he is shredding it lately. He's always been good. He can headshot, insta-kill most DPSs. I think all DPSs, actually, if he has a full charge anyway. And he's just a really good character. His ult's not too bad either, but I'm not sure if I'd put him in S. If you're really good at him, he's S, but I think as a character, overall, he's just an A. Hela, on the other hand, she to me is a lot like Hawkeye. She does a lot of damage, and you don't have to do a charge or anything, but she's just very good, very anti-flyer. Her ult's good as well, and she's an S. She's been an S for a long time, ever since Season 0. Next, we got Iron Fist. Iron Fist, I used to play him when he was a dive character, but then they made him into more of a tank buster. I think Iron Fist, you really never see him in comp, rarely even see him in quick play, and overall he's just not a great character. His ults, it's not even that great. It's really easy just to kill him if he's not getting healed or anything. So I put Iron Fist at C. I think he's middle of the road. Then we got Iron Man. Iron Man is you see him in comp sometimes. He's not great, and he's not bad. His ult is quite good against some support ults if they're not getting defended well, and if the other team isn't running any anti-flyer, he can go pretty crazy. But overall, I'd put him in B. I'd say he's above average. Then we got Magik. This is my main, actually. This is the first character I ever played in the game. And like I said with Black Panther, the dive meta is just has been dying lately, and it's the same for her. All the supports have a stun or mobility. Invisible Woman, she can go invisible, obviously. All of them can do that. Obviously, besides that, a Morlock, because why would they give him a stun or mobility, right? So, Magik, I wouldn't say she's average. I'd say she's above average. Maybe that's a little biased, though, because she's my main, and I know how good she can be in comp. But if that other team is running Namor, Thing, Emma, even Rogue now, she can grab as well. You've got to switch off of Magik, But she's good in some comp. Next, we got Psylocke. She used to be a dive as well. I mean, you can still play her in a dive playstyle, but it's a lot harder than it used to be. So now she's generally considered just kind of a ult farmer. which basically means she just stays on the front line, shoots tanks, ults, kills the healers. So I'd say she's a good character. Honestly, I'd say she's A or B. I don't know. You don't really see her that often in comp because she's a 5-star character, and I would say she's actually quite hard to play. But if you're just alt farming, that can be pretty good, especially if no one's peeling for her. I'd say she's better than Magik. She's an A. Then we got Moon Knight. He's an easy character to play, but that doesn't make him bad. He can really shred you in comp because he uses so much damage. So he is like a true DPS, and his ult is very, very good as well. I didn't even touch on Magik's ult. Magik's ult is good, but like you can even 1v6 sometimes with Magik's ult, but you just gotta. It's all about like the situation and your awareness of where you are, I guess. Moon Knight. I'll give Moon Knight an A. He's a really good DPS. Namor. He counters the dive, obviously, so he'll always be good for that. But I don't know. I feel like Namor's not really seen play as much as usual. I mean, he has a team with Hela, which is really good. But I'd probably put him in A. His ult is kind of mid, but sometimes it can go pretty crazy, especially because you can't use any mobility items while in it. So I'd put Namor in A as well, honestly. And I'm not ordering these in any order of like who's better or not. I'll just have him in A like that. Punisher. He's another good character. Not much mobility. He can anti-flyer pretty well. His ult's pretty good, but pretty easy to counter or just hide behind a wall. I don't know. I would say Punisher is probably B. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's bad. But he's definitely not terrible, so I'd say he's B. Spider-Man, same thing I've been saying, Dive is dying, and this is Dive. He's the hardest dive to play, in fact, so. And it's not like they've been giving him any support, such as Black Panther. They nerf him a lot. So, honestly, I'd put him in C. I really never like seeing a Spider-Man on my team in comp. I guess sometimes they can go kind of crazy, but, they're just never there for the team fight. They're always just flying around or hiding somewhere. So, I give Spider-Man a C tier. And then, what is it, Squirrel Girl? Oh, I really hate Squirrel Girl. I mean, I hate going against her. She's by no means a bad character, She's just like a no-skill character. She just hides somewhere and shoots her acorns. Her ult, man, if you're like in a closed space, it can just kill you like almost instantly. It's pretty good. Oh man. I really can't justify giving it higher than B though. I feel like she's just not A tier material, but she's definitely higher B. Definitely higher B. And especially if no one's like going after her and they just let her camp and shoot her acorns. Then we got Star-Lord. This is my second most played DPS character. He's the same situation as Psylocke. He used to be good dive. You can still dive with him, but as I said, dive meta is dying. So he's just an ult farm. He can shred tanks very, very fast. Like Groot, he can shred Groot real fast. Thing. Anyone who has a huge hitbox, who's a tank, you can just shred him pretty easily. I would give him an A tier. I would give him an A tier. And I'm looking at this now, and maybe I might move around some characters, actually. Let me think. I might move Hawkeye to S. I feel like Hawkeye under the right person can go crazy, and he can just absolutely dominate a game. I think this is fine, though. Having him an A. Honestly, A or B. Because his ult isn't too hard to stop either. But, yeah, I'll move him to B. Now that I thought about it a little more, I'll move him to B. And then we got Storm. Storm's very niche. I really never see Storm be played. but she's not a bad character. She's just not great. Her ult can be really good sometimes. I would put her in B tier, just above average. Wanda, her ult is very easy to cancel. She's another character like Squirrel Girl, not much skill. Her primary fire is an auto aim. I feel like she's just B. I feel like she's just middle of the road, above average. She's not a bad character. Oh, we got Bucky. I think this is what this is supposed to be, is Bucky. Bucky's a very good character. Every single one of his abilities give him overshield. He's definitely a counter to Magik. His punch can ground you now, which basically shuts out Magik's entire kit. So, you know, Bucky's always been good. His ult's super good. He's got to be an S tier. He's still an S tier. Wolverine, you know, he's Iron Fist but better. He's just a good tank shredder. I don't think he's insane. He got his ult tweaked so he can do it on walls now, so maybe that makes him a little better. But I'd say he's still like a B tier. You only really play him when the other team's running some like a lot of tanks, I suppose, and you want to kill them pretty fast. Oh, then we got my least favorite DPS to go against, especially when I'm playing Magik, is Mr. Fantastic. He shouldn't even be a DPS. He is basically a tank. He can become invincible for like 5 seconds. He gets a bunch of overshield. He gets like, you know, the big mode. And he's terrible to go against his Magik because he gets a lot of overshield, and Magik gets extra health based off of damage to health, not overshield. I would give Mr. Fantastic an A tier. He is very good and very annoying to play against. Human Torch, I really never see anyone play this guy. I don't even know if he's good, honestly. His ult is kind of mid. Oh, yeah, Mr. Fantastic's ult is kind of mid as well, by the way, but he's still an A tier. I'd put Human Torch in C tier. Who is this? Jean Grey. She's hella, but worse. I would say her ult can be better sometimes, but she's just hella, but worse. I would put her in A tier. Blade. Honestly, Blade is not that great. I know everyone was so excited for Blade to come out. His ult isn't great unless it's like a very closed off map, I guess. But, you know, you never really see him use his sword that much. He's pretty easy to kill, and I don't even know what he does. I'd say he's a C tier, honestly. I don't think Blade's that good. Oh, then we got Server Admin Daredevil. You know, he's S tier. You should know why. He's the best dive in the game. He's such good survivability. He can kill so fast, and he's just crazy. He's just a crazy character. His ult's good as well. So, yep. I believe that's all the DPS characters. Yeah, looks like it. All right, now we'll move on to we'll do strategists next, and then we'll do vanguards last. So we'll move on to the strategists, the healers section of the tier list. We're starting off with a bit of a stinker here. We got Adam Warlock. People have been begging for him to get buffed with mobility because every other strategist has some sort of mobility, I believe. Here, I'm looking through the list. Yeah, each of them have mobility besides Adam Warlock. You wanna know what his mobility is? His mobility is when he dies, he can just move really fast to respawn. And that's fine, but, you know, he still just walks around when he's alive. So, it's not great. He can definitely do a lot of damage. He's basically he's like a pseudo DPS, really. You can only really ever run him in a 3 support comp. I really don't think he's that good. I don't think he's F tier, but I don't think he's that great. I'd put him in D tier, honestly. He's just, his ult is, they buffed his ult, but it's really not that good still. If you want to revive someone, just use Rocket. It's not even ult, it's just his one of his abilities. Yeah, you know, it's sad. He really should get some kind of stun. He really should get some kind of mobility. He is the support you want to see if you're playing a dive character, though. If you're playing like Magik, Daredevil, he's just the easiest to pick off. He can heal himself, I suppose, but still, he's the worst support in my opinion, especially after Ultron got buffed. But we'll get to that when I go over there. Next, we got Loki. Honestly, I don't really see a lot of Loki play. I still think he's a good character, but I don't know. He's just not as good as the others. I feel like he's just not a character I see that often. I'd probably put Loki in B tier. I'd say he's above average. He can, make clones. His healing lantern is very overpowered. Like that's like an ult itself, it feels like. Luna Snow. Last season, I'd say she's an A tier. They buffed her even more this season, though, so I'd say she's an S tier character, especially for a strategist. Yeah, she can just give the snowflake to herself now, which makes her survivability even higher. She has very good mobility, which is what Adam Warlock's lacking. Even Loki doesn't have great mobility. He can just teleport to his clones. But yeah, she's just one of the best strategists in the game. Her snowball is like insanely fast now, which is very good to stop a dive, because she can just freeze you if she has like decent aim. So yeah, I'd give her an S tier. She's an S tier, especially in the realm of strategists. Mantis, she can damage boost. Her ult, any ult that's like invincibility for a few seconds, it's always good. She's one of the few strategists who have 250 HP still, which is good for when you're diving because they're easier to kill with Magik anyway. I really don't see Mantis that often. I still think she's a 3 strategist group, but she can do a lot of damage, and I'd say she's a B tier. B tier in the realm of strategists, B tier in general, I feel like. Rocket. Oh my gosh, Rocket is really difficult to dive because, well, he can climb on walls, that's his mobility. He also has a dash. He's just a really small character. He's a smaller hitbox. And he just heal bots the whole game. Just runs away, heal bots, runs away, heal bots. He's a really good strategist. I'd say his ult isn't as good as the others, or some of the others anyway. Obviously, he's better than Adam's ult, because Adam's ult's the worst in the game. Not in the game, but in the realm of strategists, it's the worst. I'd give him an A tier. He's an A tier strategist. Invisible Woman. She recently got the ability to give herself a shield. Makes her incredibly hard to dive. She has so many outs. One of her outs, she can go invisible and run away. A second out, she can push you away. Especially bad for Magik, because she only has one dash, so you dash in with Magik. Sometimes they're so good, they hit you with a push while you're mid-dash. And then that's when you're really cooked as Magik. So she's one of the hardest strategists to dive. In particular, playing as Magik. Her healing output is insane. She can do a lot of damage. Her ult, it's just it's invincibility for like 6-7 seconds or something. I'd put her in S. She's an S tier character. She's an S tier strategist. Next, we got Ultron. Ultron, he got a second drone. He used to be a very bad strategist. Good DPS though. He has some mobility as a dash, and his shield now gives like bonus damage, I believe, or something like that. Also overshield, obviously. Honestly, I would say Ultron's an A tier strategist. I'd say Ultron's an A tier strategist. He's gotten a lot better. I've seen times when Ultron has more healing than just the other characters like Luna. Sometimes I see him have more healing than Luna. I'd say he's a viable strategist. However, his ult, it's still not as good as the invincibility. So I'd say he's still better in a 3 support comp. And especially if the other team has 3 supports, you gotta run a 3rd support if you have only Ultron and then like one of these two or one of these two. Oh, then we move on to my least favorite strategist to go against. Gambit. He is not balanced at all. He is terrible to go against when you're trying to dive. He has not one but 2 dashes. Not even Magik has 2 dashes. So if you get him in a combo, he can just dash away. And then he can heal himself so fast, so easily with like the slam or with the hearts mode. Gambit is just a nightmare to dive. Does a bunch of damage. He is just, in my opinion, the most overpowered strategist in the game. For this one, I will put him above these 2 supports. He is the strongest support in the game. He definitely needs to be nerfed. His ult is insane as well, by the way. Gives everyone a movement boost. It's very useful. It does heal as well, and it also gets ults up faster, which is so good for team fights. Alright, next strategist on here. We got... oh, down here we got Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger isn't bad, but they're not as insane as some of these strategists on here. Her ult is very easy to kill off of Magneto. You can dunk her. Iron Man, as I was saying earlier, you can kill her with that. There's a couple other ults that I just can't think of. Oh yeah, Magik. You can do one of the combos and kill her in it too. She's not bad. They recently buffed her health to 275, so it's a little harder to dive her. But when I see a Cloak and Dagger on the other team, you know, if I'm playing Magik, I'm quite happy. She's not too hard to dive. So, in the realm of strategists, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. In the realm of strategists, I would say Cloak and Dagger is B. I already had her there, yep, B tier. And then, I thought there was Jeff. Where did Jeff go? Right there, okay. Jeff, he's pretty hard to dive. He can just go underwater. But in the realm of strategists, his ult isn't that great. His healing is pretty good. I don't know. He's a lot like Rocket to me, but with a worse ult. And I'd put him in B. Alright, now we're getting to the Vanguard section of the video. These 2 characters aren't even released yet, so I can't rate them, obviously. Oh gosh, we got Hulk. We have Hulk. Oh man, that's sad. Hulk. They haven't really done anything with him. They don't even release new skins for him. Hulk, he's just an ult. If you're playing Star-Lord or Psylocke and you're playing against a Hulk, you're happy. Because you can just ult farm him all game. And then, you know, obviously use your ult. I'd say Hulk's a C tier. His ult is, like, so bad. Like, you can still stun him in his ult. If you couldn't, like, stun him in his ult, it'd be a lot better. But his ult is so bad, it makes him massive, too. Like, Hulk is just a massive hitbox, dude. And he's so easy to kill. If he's diving your supports, and you're not peeling, then he can be kind of annoying. But it's so easy. Just go peel for your supports. You know, if you're going to get one message from this video, all of these characters, just peel for your supports and you should be good. Daredevil is the one exception. He's overpowered, you know. It's obviously try peeling, but I'm just saying it's hard to peel. Like I was saying about peeling, Captain America, he's a sponge, you know. He does like no damage, but if you ignore him for too long, he's eventually going to get to one of your supports. He can stall point like no one else can, but you just gotta have good aim. Just have good aim. Have one of your auto aim characters like Cloak and Dagger. Use Star-Lord's one ability when he just has the bullets all around him. He's really not hard. If you're ever going against a Captain America, just make sure to peel him if he's getting at your supports. You know, I do ignore him quite often, but that's because I'm playing Magik. I'm not usually in my own team's backline. I'm usually in the enemy backline. I'd say he's another C tier Vanguard, honestly. He's not great. His ult's okay. It kind of gives more survivability, but he's just kind of a stall. He's like niche, like you need to stall point, so you're stalling point. Then we're getting to the good tanks, it looks like. We got Doctor Strange. He's always been a good tank. His ult, it's good. Stuns the whole team if you can hit it right. You know, what he's used for usually is just portaling when you need to get to the point fast, when you're about to lose or you're about to win. He's a good tank. He's a good character. honestly, I'd give him an A tier. I think Doctor Strange is deserving an A tier. He's a good character. I don't know what else to say about him. Yeah, shield obviously can block most of the ults. I think all of them. He's a shield tank. He's a very good Vanguard. You know, he's a staple. Then we have Groot. I feel like people keep overhyping Groot. I really don't think he's as good as people think he is. I think he is good because he can wall off from heals, like your Vanguards from heals, but I don't think he's as insane as people think. I don't think he's ban worthy, I should say. Everyone here in S tier, I would say is ban worthy. A tier, I would not say is ban worthy, unless you're playing against someone you know is really good with that character. Groot, he is not ban worthy to me. And honestly, I wouldn't even put him in A tier. I wouldn't even put him in A tier. I put him in B tier. I think he's an above average tank. I don't think he's great. He's super, like Hulk, he has the same problem. He has a super big hitbox. If you're playing like, you know, any character, Hawkeye, Punisher, Star-Lord, you can just spam him. He's a good ult farm. Like, that's why I like playing against him. If I'm playing Star-Lord, I can just ult farm off of Groot. You know? He's really not as good as people think. Groot is not as good as people think. Now, who is as good as people think? Magneto. He's Doctor Strange, but even better. He can shield for a short period of time, which blocks anything besides melee attacks, obviously. He can bubble himself and another opponent, another teammate now, which is very good. It used to not be able to do that. He does good damage. He can, you know, he stays around the support, so he can peel. And his ult is very good against support ults. I always use his ult to counter a support ult or a Punisher ult. I'd say he's an S tier Vanguard. He's an S tier character in my opinion. I would say he's worthy. He's a ban worthy character. I personally wouldn't ban him because I like playing him. So if I have to play Vanguard, I'll likely play Magneto. He's my main guy. He's my favorite Marvel character. In fact, he is the Vanguard I like to play. Second is Doctor Strange. Third is Emma. I've been learning Emma recently. Alright, next we got Penny Parker. She's a character I've never played. She is the anti-dive machine. As I was saying, you know, why is BP not good anymore? Why is dive dying? Penny is one of the reasons. She's a character you see banned all the time. Like, every single comp match, she's banned. And I see why. She is the fastest stun in the entire game. I think it's like 3 or 4 seconds. She has the spider mines. Oh my gosh, the spider mines are the worst thing you want to see when you're playing a melee character. Her ult's kind of mid. I still think she's an S tier. She's worthy of ban. I see her banned more than Magneto. She's crazy against dive. She just kills dive. Thor is kind of a niche character. He is very good at brawling. He's very good at 1v1s. Thor, if you're good at Thor, you should never lose a 1v1 against any DPS. He just does so much damage. He can also like move people around like Angela. He's a good tank. I wouldn't say he's insane, but if you have a really good Thor, he can really kind of control the game and make it annoying. I'd put him in B tier with Groot. Oh, then we have the dive tank of the batch here. We got Venom. I think Venom's really good, especially if no one's peeling for Venom, because he can really just dive your supports and just kill them all if you ignore him. He is Captain America, but better. He's Captain America, but better. He can't really stall as much. I mean, he can still stall a lot, because he's a lot of HP. But if he's swinging around and being kind of slippery, it's kind of hard to farm ult off of him as easily as, you know, Groot. I would say I wouldn't say he's an S tier character. I would say he's an A tier character. I'd say Venom's an A tier character. They made his ult a lot better because it made the anti-healing thing. And then we have the Thing. He's a lot like Penny. He's an anti-dive machine. You know, if you're playing Magik, if you're playing Black Panther, well, Black Panther just absolutely useless against him. You know, you never want to see a Thing in the other side of the lobby. You know, he's a good ult. you know, he has the ability to ground you, which basically turns off your entire kit for like, I think they even made it better than it used to be. It's like 5 seconds now, which is absolutely insane. So if you get hit by that one ability as Magik, you just got to stand around and do nothing for like 5 seconds. Same as a Black Panther. He's a good tank. If I ever see a thing when I'm playing Magik, I switch to Star-Lord, because I feel like he's also very good to ult farm off of, because he's a very big hitbox. His head is the biggest in the game, so it's easy to get headshots off him. He's a good tank though. I would put him in B tier. I don't think he's A tier, but I think he's B tier. He's good when you're going against dive. He has a good ult. He's a good character. I don't think he's great, but he's good. Speaking of great, we have Emma Frost here. She's another anti-dive. She can grab. You don't even need to use that just for diving characters, but you know, she can peel very easily. She does a lot of damage. She has a very good ult. She's a very good Vanguard. I've been trying to learn her recently. She's a lot of fun to play, honestly. I hate going against her as Star-Lord because, you know, she's one of the smaller hitboxes. For a Vanguard, she's a very small character. She's small in comparison to the other Vanguards anyway. I'd put her in A tier. Next, you got Angela. She's the most DPS tank you can get. In certain maps, she can be very crazy. She can stall pretty decently, I feel like. Her ult's kind of bad, in my opinion. She can like make you away from your team, which is really good. She does dive as well. I do know that. I'd put her in B tier. I feel like she could be really good under the right hands, but I don't think she's A tier. I just don't think she's A tier. And then we have Rogue. Dude, Rogue is just so annoying. She's everything you want in a tank, I feel like. I haven't bothered learning her because everyone keeps insta-locking her, but she's a nightmare to go against under the right hands. She can fly for some reason, you know, unlike the actual Adam Warlock, you know, who can actually fly in the movies, in comic books. But she can fly. Rogue can fly. Her ult, she's only been in the game for like 5 days. I feel like her ult's not great, but it's pretty good if people are holding their ult, because it stops from like a response from a support ult if they're in the range or something. Yeah, she can fly. She can grab a lot like Emma, which makes Emma so good as her grab. And then she can steal abilities. She's just so versatile. I would give her an S tier. She's an S tier tank, in my opinion. I do ban her sometimes in comp because she's just very annoying against dive as well. And she's definitely a good brawl Vanguard. Alright, then we have Deadpool, and then I don't know, I think this is like this something Bloodstone, one of the sniper character. I don't remember her name. But this is the Marvel Rivals tier list. Let me know what you guys agree on. Let me know what you guys disagree on. You know, I appreciate the feedback, and yeah, just let me know. You know, I can see some of these characters being moved around. Like, where could I see any disagreements? I could see maybe Ultron going down if you wanted. I feel like Ultron's A though. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Yeah, thanks for watching. This is the Marvel Rivals tier list. Thank you.